Hey guys, back at it with another roulette strategy to put against a survival test. Today we got roulette jackpot ladder modification number 2. This one came from Luke Davenport from Maine. That's pretty cold up there, I hear. Never been, heard it's beautiful, but he is a new subscriber to the channel, and he said he really likes the way we collectively modify systems to make them better, because he said he's always done the same when he finds new systems to suit his bankroll and the style of play he prefers. So thank you and welcome to the channel, Luke. He also says that he's seen this first on Roulette Jackpot's channel, but since seeing it on my channel and wanted to give some input because he's made some changes to create some jackpot numbers. I'm going to run it exactly like he is, or that he stated, but I'm going to make a slight adjustment just in the early stages, because the first, the one I just ran, although it did make profit, I'll have the link down below in the description. It did make profit, but it kind of got deep in our bankroll, which was kind of uncomfortable because the bankroll was kind of set low on that one at 300. But anyways, before we get into that video, I'll explain the rest in a minute. I do want to go over the survival test guidelines. This test was created in a longer format to weed out the good from the bad. We find the good ones, and then as a community, we try to refine them and make them better. So every strategy will get a fair shake at 90 spins. That equates to about an hour and a half of live playing time in the casino. There will not be a time limit. We're going to play out all 90 spins or until the system fails. Every system will receive a grade on performance that will be posted at the end of each video. All results are unedited. All videos are posted. The good, the bad, and the ugly, guys. And if you're new to the channel, want to join us in the quest of finding the best, please consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date, because it won't hurt you none, but it might help you some. So will it survive the test, and how will it perform today? We are going to find out. So there are a lot of similarities. Oh, one other thing. So on that first one, the bankroll is 300. He says he prefers to use $500 bankroll for extra added protection. So we'll just set it as a $500 bankroll today. And he does use dollar units. So we're going to go ahead and use dollar units, and we're going to start, and I'll explain as we go. The first three losses, I'll explain. That I've only made one tweak to the way and it's just really to slow the progression down a little bit. That's all it's here to do. Okay, so this first part, he pretty much follows everything exactly except for the bet placement. I am simply going to start at 1. And on losses, I will explain what I do different. And this is just to kind of capitalize on those early wins. So we are on a win streak. So far, so good. We're going to keep track of our session high. That's important with this system today. And I'm going to teach you how to use this to potentially make some money in the casino. But of course, no system is guaranteed, so keep that in mind. And you could always make modifications for yourself. All right, so we're starting off hot. Only collecting $1, but like I said, slower progression, slower wins. All right. Haven't lost yet. Good start. And then I also got feedback. I should have took note of it. I believe it's from Mitcher420. We got in the hole that first go around because we kept the bets on the highs. He suggested, he sees, like you're seeing now, he sees streaks happen a lot more than chops. So he says to fight those is to go back and forth and stay on the winner. So after 2, we could set that to 2 or 3 losses, and then we could switch sides. But let's just okay, so we got our first loss. All right. So now we go up from 1 to 2. So we have 2 units on the highs. Our session high was at $7. And we got the hit. So obviously we got our money back +1. So we are going to go back to base and keep it safe, guys. Up to $8. And we got a loss right there. So we go up 1 unit. This is spin number 10. We have not gone past this level so far. We got back-to-back losses. So we're going to add 1 more unit. So those first 2 levels, you're going to win 1 unit back. This level, if we hit, which we did, we basically recoup all our previous losses. Now we're back to our high at $8. So we go back to our base level bet. And we got another win right there. I was actually thinking about using that as a system as itself, because like I said, it's like, you know, I've been looking for like a good flat betting system, haven't found a good flat betting system. So I think this to have like a little soft, easy, you know, 1, 2, 3 step, you know, it's not necessarily flat bet, but like a very low progressive betting, and then you just restart, win or lose. We lost right there, so we're gonna add 1 unit and spin. We're up to $9. Doesn't seem like much, but we have not gone negative in our bankroll, and we keep printing money at this point. And of course, if you're using $10 chips, it would be up $110 just at these base levels. Okay, we're gonna rebet. We're gonna add a unit, hoping we get a few losses for demo purposes, and then we will on the 4th loss is what triggers the progression. So that's a loss right there. We're gonna add 1 more unit here. We get a loss here, and we will that will trigger the progression that Luke has been playing, and we gotta win. I know, very boring way to start, but we are winning. So I'm gonna just, instead of switching sides, I'm gonna stay here and see if we could get on a long losing streak, so we could hit that progression. Win at base, so we just simply rebet, collect, rebet, and spin. We're up $12. Okay, got a loss right there, so we simply go up 1 unit. All right, we got another win right there. We're back to base. This is spin number 20. If this happens for another 10 spins, I'll skip straight to the progression. So we lost there. We're going to go to 2 units. Yep, we keep winning. It's not a bad thing, but like I said, I do want to show that progression. So let's give it a few more spins. If we keep going back and forth, up and down, then I'll just jump straight into that progression after the first loss. Okay. Rebet at a unit. 14 is our session high. Okay, we got another loss. Add 1 more unit. We get a loss here. We jump into the progression. Okay, finally got a loss. Okay, that's our 4th loss. So what we're doing is we're going to rebet, and we're going to add a unit here. So we're going to still kind of follow those double streets, but instead of putting money on the double streets like the original, what we're doing is we're creating this overlap with the corners. So we're creating those jackpot numbers. So this first jackpot set will be number 32 and number 35. Okay, and we spin. Keeping track of our session high, which is at 14 currently. This is spin 25. We got a loss right there. So this part is going to be similar other than putting corner bets. So those corner bets go in at $1 each. And then at this second, once you put those second set in, you're jumping up 2 units on the 19 to 36. And we spin. And it doesn't just progress like this. So like on wins, we keep the bet the same here. Right? So we won right there. It's only $1 because that was uncovered. So the bets stay the same. And we respin. But the bets will change as we climb the progression. And once we hit that point, I will explain what I mean. So we lost that one, so we rebet. We're going here, here, 1, 2. All right, the lowest so far right now is minus 18, so we're on a long losing streak. So right here, we are going to rebet, and we're going up a unit because we lost, and a unit on the 19 to 36 is 2. Okay, so we got a $21 total bet. And we got another losing number. So we're adding a unit each. And this is spin number 30. And we are at the lowest so far in the bankroll at minus 39. We finally got a hit, but that was not a jackpot number. That was a $20 hit. We're not in session profit. So he said at this point, win or lose, since you have all covered, we're going to increase by 1 unit. And that's why he did mention using a $500 bankroll with dollar chips is ideal. All right, we got a 29 black. Oh, that's a nice $61 hit. We are in a new session profit, boosted us up real quick, $42. We're going to go back to base and keep it safe. So back to $1 units. That panned out so well. Maybe this doesn't need, because that was a long losing streak. Maybe this doesn't need this modification that I added to it. But like I said, I like to go slow and steady. So we lost there. We're going to simply add a unit. So that's a nice adjustment so far with those jackpot numbers, because the original, you needed quite a bit of wins to get back to your session high. All right, so on another losing streak, so we're going to go here. We're going to keep that there, and we're adding 1 unit each on those corner bets. And we got $1 right there, so we simply rebet and spin. We're at spin 35. All right, there's another loss. So once you add your second set of corners bets in, then you increase 2 units on the high numbers, the 19 through 36. 16 reds, another miss. Right here, add 2 units. And if we lose at this point, win or lose, we're stacking a unit each. That's going to be $1 on the corners and $2 on the high numbers. Okay, so we lost, so we're going to go ahead and add a unit. And we reset when we're in session profit. Back-to-back 18 reds, back-to-back losses, and we are on another long losing streak. But you've seen earlier that one big jackpot number got us in a new session profit by a margin of what? Because we're at 14. That's a pretty big margin right there to jump. And we got a 22 black right there. What is that? So it's a partial win, but it's still a solid win. We're back up to $9 in profit. But remember, at this level, once you have all these corner bets down, win or lose, you're increasing until you hit a new session profit. 1 unit each, win or lose. And we got a 6 black. So we're going to simply rebet, add the units in. And we got a 19 red. There's a $30 hit. So we're kind of fluctuating up and down, which is nice because those partial hits, they do help a little bit. But we're really looking for those jackpot numbers, or probably a couple of those partial hits to get back into session profit. So remember, 1 unit up each, win or lose at this point. This is spin number 40. We are near the halfway point. And we got another partial hit, and that's a $35 hit. And our session high is at 42. So all we need is 1 more partial hit, or a jackpot number would be nice. So let's call for my favorite number on the board. Let's see if that 20 black wants to come up right now. Come on, I'm calling it. Speak it to existence. Nope, but I'll take that too. That's another jackpot number right there. That's a $103 win. We are by far in a new session profit. Previous was at 42. We're up 140 bucks. Beautiful. All right, reset back to base. I'm not, not in real life, but on the simulator, I like to see a lot of consecutive losses, because to me, what makes me feel confident in a system is, can it come back if you get a huge string of bad numbers? And that's why I was so attracted to this version, because I like those overlapping numbers to create jackpot hits. All right. So we lost there. We simply go up 1 unit. There's a hit with a 30 red, so we reset back to base and keep it safe. 142 is the new session high. Lost right there, so we go up 2. And we got the win again, so we go back to base. And let me know if you guys like this little adjustment, like the start. I know the start's a little slow. Some of you guys are a little more aggressive players. You guys already know I'm pretty conservative when I gamble. We won there, so we keep it at base. Lost again, so we just simply add a unit. And we won again right there. The way I see it is, like, you're basically giving yourself 3 extra chances without getting too high in the progression. Like if you get like a string of losses, those 3 are covered, so you should be hitting. It kind of gives you a little bit more buffer. So we won again, so we're back to base. We're only making $1 profit here, or 1 unit depending on what size you're using, but we are up in profit. And this is where I like to stay. I don't like to dip into the bankroll too much. We are in a new session profit at 147. There's a loss right there. Simply add a unit. And this is spin number 50. Another loss right there. So we're going to add 1 more unit. If we lose this one, that triggers the progression. And we sure did. So we are going to jump in that progression again. We are not adding a unit on the 19 to 36 on the first bet of the progression. We are just simply adding these corner bets at $1 a piece. So it's a $5 total bet, and we spin. Very easy to follow. Nothing too complicated with this one. It's just like kind of pattern betting. All right, so we lost there. We are jumping up right there. And we spin. Oh, gee, I forgot to add the 2 units on the... That's my bad. But we got the win. Let's see what that put us. All right, that's an $8 win. We are not in session profit, so I'm going to keep the bet here. And then remember to add the unit, because once you put that second set of corners in, that's when you start adding your unit to the 19 to 36. I screwed up that last time. It would have paid out better and probably got us into a new session profit, but that's okay. That's a $1 win. We do not increase the bet on wins at this level. We got a loss right there, so we're going to have to put our 3rd set of corner bets in. It's only at $1 each. And then we're going 1 unit up here, which is $2. This is spin number 55. Our session high is at 147. We're trying to get back to a new session high. That's a $10 win. We're not quite there, so I'm going to keep the bet here. Actually, we're at this level, so he says win or lose. We probably don't need to add a unit, but he said win or lose. We are adding a unit each to get back to a new session profit. All right. right, there's another loss. Singles go in here. Oops, let me fix that one. There we go. Let's see what we get here. We got a 25 red, and that's a partial win. That put us at 145. We're not quite there, so we're going to rebet. Add our units in. 2 here. And there's another loss. So we're on a bogey train right now. And the bad streak train keeps on rolling. I know it will be better, like Mitcher 420 said, to switch the sides. But like I said, this one is, I think, fairly safe to just stay on one side. But personally, I would probably go back and forth. I'd probably wait till like 2 or 3 consecutive losses and then switch the sides. But just for demo purposes, I'm keeping it here. And I kind of do like to keep it on one side to really test the system out and see if we could get down low in the progression and see if it comes back. That's what's key. All right, win or lose, we increase. And you can look at that side of the board and you see a bunch of low numbers, more than high numbers, and that's what's hurting us. We're kind of waiting for a good streak or a couple jackpot numbers, or maybe one. Let's see at this level. We got a $45 hit right there. We are simply going to rebet at a unit. And this is spin number 60. Keeping in mind our session high was 147. And we got a 28 black. That's another partial hit. So we're going to keep the bet here, but add a unit. And this is a very, very long losing streak. That's probably why he said he likes to use a $500 bankroll. So keep in mind, if you're using any less denominations, you just adjust the unit size. All right, there's a $60 hit. We're up 19. We're going to need to get on a nice little win streak here. But we are not terribly low into the bankroll. The lowest we've been in that bankroll is minus 41. And this is the worst string of losses we got so far. And look at that. That's a jackpot number 35. Let's see what it pays out. $173. One jackpot hit. And we're back into a new session profit. 192 is our new session high. So we are going to base $1 bet. Yeah, I think this is better to play kind of like with a slower start like I have it. Because that gave us like a three loss cushion. Because the bets were already starting to get pretty high right there. But again, we only went into the bankroll minus 41 so far. That's the lowest we've been. And I do like systems that float higher in the profit area than those that are constantly fighting to get back. All right, we got another loss right there. We simply go up to 3 units. One more loss, and that triggers the progression. Or I should say the rest of the progression. All right, and we got a loss right there. We simply keep the bet right there at $3, and we're going to add a unit on these corners. $12 red hits. And I really feel like if you're favoring one side of the board or one, add 2 there. This app kind of adjusts to hit everything but. But that's okay. That shows that this is even extra more resilient. We're back to a session high. He says reset at new session high. And let's push it out, because we are at 192. We will reset when we get into a new session high, and that was a good decision because we hit one of those jackpot numbers. That's a $19 hit. We're up $211 after all those losses. A bad string of losses. All right, 11 black comes up. That's a miss. Simply add 1 unit. We are at spin 70. We have 20 more. We are nearing the end. That is a jackpot number with a 29. Oh, no, it's not a jackpot number because we didn't put the code bets down. Sorry. Way ahead of myself, guys. All right, spin 71. All right, back to print mode. I love it. It's like the, I forget the name of that channel. What was it? It was a Russian guy. He used to do experiments, and he says safety is #1 priority. I used to love watching his channel. I don't know ever what happened with him. I don't see his content anymore. Maybe he sold his channel. He's rich, and he's on a beach somewhere right now. All right, we are going to add 1 more unit because we lost. Total of 3 units. Our session high was, well, lost it. I think it was 114. All right, it was 114. So this triggers the next level of the progression. We're gonna rebet, keep that at 3. Punch in 1 there, 1 there. Total bet of $5. And looks like we're getting on another long losing streak. All right, once you add your second set in, then you start adding 2 units each on the 19 to 36. This is spin number 75. Not a big win, but a win. Keep the bet here. Yeah, at this point, I'm like 100%. We're going to make the whole 90 spins, no issues, even with those long losing streaks. Add 2 here. It is a slower progression, but it does pay out, and it gets you back to profit quick, especially when you hit those jackpot numbers. Which, watch, look at the layout, guys. You got 35, 32, 29, 26, 23, 20. That's 6 jackpot numbers. And even those partial wins, they're not little partial wins. They're decent size because you're increasing. All right. Let's see if we could get another jackpot. Nope. It's favoring one side of the board once again. Look at that. You got 14, 12, 9, 4. So many bad numbers. I know it happens in real life. I've seen it, but it just feels like it happens a lot more, especially with this app. Finally got a hit. That's a jackpot number. Let's see what that pays out. $47. We are not in a session high. All right, 214 was our session high. It would probably be the smartest idea to reset at this point. But I'm just following the rule set and trying to get to a new session profit. Let's see if we could get back-to-back wins. We sure did not. So we're going to rebet, add a unit. Remember, we're at this level, win or lose, you go up 1 unit. This is spin number 80. We have 10 more to go. And we got another loss right there with a 4 black. Rebet. Level up. And look at that. Beautiful black 26 came up again. $89 in profit. We're back at session profit. We are back right at session profit. All right. Keeping to the rules. Let's try to get into a new session profit. I know it's not smart to do this, but I feel like it's easier to place these bets when you're playing on a simulator. Let's be honest. So let's see what happens. Nope. Got another loss. We are going to rebet. We're going to add a unit. And like I said earlier, I do not recommend doing this. It's better to be flexible than following a rule set very rigid. But for those risky ones, risky gamblers, they don't care. They want to make money. Play how you want. This is just simply for demo purposes. Just showing you and teaching you how to use these strategies. All right, we got another hit that will put us in a new session profit of $248. All right, so we're going to go back it up to base and keep it safe. We're almost done with the test. Got a few more spins left in us. Rebet at a unit. Back to base at 1 unit. Spin number 85. We got 5 more after this one. New session high is at 249. All right, we are gonna add a unit. Spin 86. And another loss. Have a feeling there's gonna be a few more of those coming. Just seems like that's how they're coming out today. Yep. Prediction is correct. This level, we go ahead and add in those 2 corner bets. We got 2 more spins after this one. There's a nice $10 win. That put us into a new session profit at $253. So we're simply going to go back to base and keep it safe for these next 2 spins. Let's see if we could get a couple more bucks. Sure will. That's a win right there. And this is going to be our last spin, guys. Spin number 90. Definitely survived the test without too much stress. Of course, I'm going to go back. I have a tendency to lose track on the session lows. I think it was at 41 last time I checked. Stats, of course, will be down. The grade will be down below as usual. Final thoughts on this. Man, I need a little input from you guys. Let me know if that adjustment I added, like those first 3 losses, is that a good safety feature, or does that slow down potential profit gains? Or would it be better just to start off with $2 on the 19 through 36, and then after that loss, jump into the rest of the progression, adding in those corners? I think that probably would have played out well too. I just like a little bit more buffer. And as you've seen, we went on multiple long losing streaks, and we still came back, and we still got in profit. And we didn't really go too low in our bankroll, which is always nice. And he has this set at $500, which I feel is very reasonable for dollar chips. You know, if you're using 50-cent pieces, you could easily do that with half the amount at $250. But I don't know. This is definitely, I like this a lot better than the original. And Luke, that's a great one, man. If you have any other variations or any other systems that you find from other channel, any of you guys, I have an email set up, roulette.strategy777@gmail.com. You could send me an email if that's what you prefer. You could shoot them down in the comments. If you know, I do prefer putting them in the comments because other people get to read them, and then they'll make some adjustments and tweaks that sometimes are small. That's why there's no big or small. You don't have to give me a full progression. You could just give me some small little tips that could potentially help it be better. Okay, so if you like this type of content, please subscribe. Please like this video. Share with any of your buddies that are also into roulette. We're just trying to help this community, you know, build and get better. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys, as I am, just tired of getting beat up by the casinos. That's why I started doing this. You know, spitballing ideas, because I know I'm limited as a human being. But once we put we gather our thoughts and put our brains together, we could come up with some really, really great stuff. You know, and I believe we have so far. So I do want to keep this going. And of course, like always, guys, till next time, be cool, stay cool, peace.